to wear a suit every day and they're pretty expensive. This time I tried to.
Good morning. Welcome. Hopefully you can hear me okay. It looks like you probably can, so that's good. All right. So today I really want to start by talking about a course member who is in escrow. And what we're going to do is we're going to look at their deal again and try to understand, is there possibly a reason for them to walk away from this deal? Is it possibly but let's get to the bottom of it and let's take another peek at it and see what we think. So let's go ahead and screen, because this is important for everybody. Let's see here. There we go. So sometimes what happens is we could get into deals and we could get excited about the deal, and that's normal because I want everybody to get excited about real estate. One of the issues that came up with this one here is we were looking at this deal here, which is on University Drive in Auburn, Alabama here. And we found that there are a lot of good comps around the area. Notice these like 280, 240, 245. We were looking, these were similar sizes. We got a 331 comp over here, a higher sales. Notice how everywhere off the street, the sales are higher. And so one of the questions that came up here was the question that, hey, is it really true that these where's this question? Here it is. Is it really true that it'd be about $40,000 that you might lose in market value just because it's off a busy road? Even though maybe there's not much road noise and there's a longer driveway and it doesn't bother you. And the question isn't so much, is it my opinion that the value is that much lower? The question is, what are other properties selling for with similar buts? That's the way to value it. And so when we go over here and we go, same property, same similar driveway, that's a 3 and 2, 1,800 square feet. This is yours is a 3 and 2, 1,800 square feet. 3 and 2, 1,800 square feet that sold last year. We don't have pictures on the inside, but we know yours needs a little bit of updating on the inside as well. Sold for $194. You're at $215. That might align with market value. Maybe that one needed a tiny bit more work, but unless that one was a complete massive fixer, I don't know. That's not such a good comp to suggest that, no, you are valued at closer to what these higher comps are. You're actually probably valued at closer to what these lower comps are. Now, what you can do, which is what we can't do, is you could drive by, you could call the agent that sold this property, and you could try to get some more details to understand a little bit more about these comps. This is back in 2016, so that's an older comp. But as we did in the last live, when you go along and you see, look at this one. What is this? Oh, this is a smaller unit. But you go along University Drive, or you search the MLS and you search in time to see what are the comps selling for in these busier or off the busier road. Then you'll know that but potential. And, you mentioned another thing here that, hey, if the location really screws up the wedge deal, maybe it's not that exciting. You did also notice that you've got power lines blocking you from planting trees and blocking to try to cut off the road. And that's common too. You'll have easements wherever power lines are. Now, usually you have these power lines in the back. But I see what you're saying. You've got the power lines right here, and you probably have a good 5 or 10-foot easement off the front to where you wouldn't be able to plant anything. And I wouldn't really try to grow anything crazy here anyway. But it's going to make you driving out of here a nightmare. But yeah, I mean, just solely based on this location, and in my experience as well, it sort of reiterates that, you know what? If you could kick a ball and it hits a road where people are going 40 or 50 miles an hour, it's going to be something where your value will be affected by that issue. So it's just good to know. So let's see what we've got in some other questions. And let me say one more thing, because I get it. I've been in situations before where I've gotten excited about deals, and sometimes it just takes talking to another person or somebody else looking at the deal to always, and that doesn't mean the other person's always right, but I've been in cases where I've wanted to write offers, and I'll run the deal by somebody else, and they go, oh, really, that one? Did you think of this? And I go, oh, no, I didn't think of that. I didn't place much value on that. But oftentimes, just running your deal by another person, you realize, oh, wow, okay, yeah, there's maybe I'm undervaluing what a lot of other people might find important. Okay, cool. So then we have another question. I wanted to hit this. All right. So a lot of you might find this one interesting. I want you to think to yourself as you're listening to me say this. What would you do? So the statement was, where was it? Renovations. Here we go. Okay. Slog Run says, I need to replace the heating and air in my first property. I only talked to one AC company so far. Their offer sounds good, but I don't know if it's worthwhile. To sum up, they offered to upgrade, upgrade something for $189 per month for 8 years, fixed, covers all expenses and maintenance and repair during those 8 years. My concern is in the long run, I'll be paying more for the system because this offer applies only if I upgrade, and I don't think I need to. So let's just make this super, super simple. Let's forget like future value math and cost of your money and that you can invest things or whatever. $189 times 12 times 8 is $18,000. And honestly, that's, I mean, I don't know what you need to replace, but that sounds extremely high. If you need to replace just the air conditioning the box outside, those are just the box, not running the copper line set and all that stuff. You don't have to replace that stuff. Just the box. It should be like $3,500 to $5,000 tops. Don't spend these crazy amounts. Furnace, if it's in the attic or it's in a closet, somewhere between $1,800 to $3,000 tops. And a lot of times these companies are like, well, you have asbestos ducts. We need to rip out all the ducts. We need to replace everything. Really? Are they broken? Are they damaged? So I'd be very, very careful spending too quickly. What's up in the live chat? How's it going, everyone? Wow, what's up, Hunter? That's awesome. Look, you got the Don't Sue Me Bro icon. I love that. It's the first time I've seen that. We actually just launched that, and I haven't even mentioned it to anybody, so I appreciate that. Hope you're well. Been trying to put aside some time between a full-time job and school lately to watch your videos, of course. Awesome. Yeah, big thing, folks. Try to watch, 1 lecture a day, 2 lectures a day. Get in that routine. And think about it. Everybody can put aside 5 to 10 minutes a day. If you watch it at like 1.25% speed, hey, it's like 4 to 6 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Okay, great. So now let's look at, this is always, you guys seem to like this when we do renovation stuff. So let's look at Brandon's pictures. Let's do this. Jump over to Brandon's pictures. All right. Brandon. Just got a new place. So Brandon had questions about this. And so he's thinking about scraping the ceiling. He just got a new place and doing some other things here. Let's get an overall feel here. Yeah. Okay. So let's go ahead and start at the beginning. Once you get into a place, and I recommend this for everybody, be careful not to overspend. So you could always do the things that I recommend. What I'm about to say, things that I would do if I was going to be renting out the property, but I might not be doing it right away if I just bought the property and I'm just going to move in. Mostly because I recommend if you're just going to move in, yeah, maybe scrape those ceilings first because it's a disaster to do later. But a lot of stuff, if I can blow it off until I go to actually rent out the property, might be better. So kitchen renovated with cabinets, 2 vanities. Okay. A friend just got a new place, and he had the kitchen renovated with new cabinets and countertops and 2 vanities for $8K. He found a company that sources everything, so they're a steal. Okay, awesome. So, yeah. Okay, so your plan is to scrape the ceiling, new paint, luxury vinyl plank throughout, maybe shiplap the fireplace. Not sure on Craftsman baseboards. I love the look, but it seems like it can add up. Baseboards are super cheap. I mean, if you're going to do new flooring, you should be doing new baseboards. And I mean, the material we just spent on a 1,300 square foot property was somewhere around $390 for baseboards, which relative to the cost of flooring is like 8%. So yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Your fireplace actually, it's not like it's super offensive. It's basic. If you painted that an accent color, if you wanted to even paint it an accent color, yeah, I got screen share. I thought for a moment I didn't have screen share up. Like, what am I doing talking to myself? I'm not dying over the look of that. I think it's fine. I think if you painted even the mantle an accent color, you'd probably go far. Maybe put like some kind of trim molding around that mirror, or just get rid of the entire mirror entirely and just hang a picture there. If you were going to keep the mirror, just put a little bit of a, baseboard around there. It doesn't, not the Craftsman base, something a little bit more decorative around there. But I don't know that I'd spend the money to shiplap that, unless you wanted to project yourself. But if you wanted to project yourself, remind yourself, why are you doing it? These cabinets are honestly fine. I would get a comparable bid just to see what could I paint these cabinets for inside and out. If I wanted to paint them white, first of all, I might not do anything. I might just milk the cabinets because I don't care what color they are. For rental purposes, if you're going to go white, then you're going to have to go stainless appliances too. And so now you notice how you quickly up the costs, whereas maybe you just do new appliances later, unless you need to. This flooring, what I've done a lot is I'll just throw in new linoleum. If you're going to do the luxury vinyl plank everywhere, that's okay. Something that's popular too is, obviously get rid of like these drapes, throw in some can lights. These are nice cabinets though. These are more expensive. See how they go all the way to the ceiling? They're 40-inch cabinets. You got a nice pantry over here. This is nice. Your countertop's Formica. It's not super offensive. I get the appeal of quartz. So let's see what else. This is fine. The carpet looks like maybe it's getting to the end of its life. Maybe replace door handles or things like that. These are still kind of the older ones from what I could tell. Love the butterflies in the tub. Obviously get rid of them, but we talked about this one in the last live, put some molding around the mirror, maybe a new countertop on this, throw some knobs on this. If you wanted to do a new vanity, that's fine. But remember, you're repairing drywall damage now, possible tile damage. You might lose the mirror. There are a lot more implications when you go for a whole new vanity setup compared to just keeping what you have. Same thing over here. That's a long vanity. You probably spend $1,200 just for a vanity. Now, you do have carpet here. I would definitely get rid of the carpet even before I moved in with at least the linoleum. But ask yourself, if you're going to do the vinyl plank, that's one thing. Just be careful. Don't overspend. I like the place. If you're going to be living there for a while, let's see, new water heater since it's from 1991. Well, just keep in mind, just because it's from 1991 doesn't mean it's bad. If it's from 1991, it's strapped, it's not leaking, it's got copper supplies, hook a hose up to the thing, drain it, refill it, and if it works, milk it, save the money. Yeah, the tank is $500 and you might get some $50 rebates or whatever from the gas company, but you're still paying somebody to install it. It's got to be installed correctly. We're in an earthquake zone in California, so save the money. I wouldn't replace things until they are bad. So the rubber ones are bad. You want to, okay, so for washers and dryers, everybody should do this. So you never want to see the rubber hoses for a washer dryer. Rubber hose, washer, dryer. If you ever see this, it's bad. Let's see here. Yeah, see these kind of hoses right here? These are bad. These are known for leaking. They're known for bursting. This kind of junk right here. Spend the money. Replace them with these braided hoses. Much, much better. These are like $30 for a kit. These are like $18. It's like, why save the $12 when it's going to explode? Unless you want an insurance claim. These are them cut up. It just kind of shows you this is just rubber. This has the plastic liner on the inside with the braiding to protect it from damage from the outside. Blah, 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 blah. All right. Let's see. Yeah, fix the closet shelves. Of course, like fix what's broken. Yeah, the carpets. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, okay. So definitely, I'm getting rid of the carpet. If you're getting rid of the carpet, maybe it makes sense to just do all the flooring at the time. Doing the luxury vinyl plank on the stairs is expensive. So sometimes what we'll do is we'll just do the vinyl plank in the kitchen, the bathroom downstairs, the areas here. And then we'll just go carpet again upstairs just to half the cost of the project. Real estate's all about not overspending. As soon as you overspend, things get nuts. So, yeah. Also, the AC unit just seems to be original. Should I plan for a new one? Yeah, look, I'm telling you, folks, just because stuff's original doesn't mean you need to replace it. In the renovation that we were almost done with now, or maybe a week away from being done with it, I had the heating heating unit. It's original from like 1961. We had it checked. The thing's not rusted. It's not leaking carbon monoxide. And I'm looking at it going, well, heck, if it's fine, why would I spend the $2,500 to replace it? We tested it. It runs. Put in a new filter. call it a day. So that's more money in your pocket that you can invest in really profitable things like Tesla stock. All right. So then we've got a question on paint colors. Yeah. So look, paint colors, they are case by case. I'll tell you, I hate paint colors on exteriors because I can't use a standard formula. I keep rubber banding to the same formulas that I do use, but it is case by case because of roof color. You did give me a couple examples here. Let's share those. I'm not opposed to either of the examples you gave here. It all comes down to, yes, see what other people are doing in your neighborhood, but also look at the roof color. So notice how they've kind of got this bluish gray going on, got a little green hue going on there as well. This one has much more of the white-black contrast. You have to evaluate what looks good in your area, your neighborhood, goes with your roof. I'd say both of these paint colors are nice. I don't see any, I mean, it's the same. It almost looks like the same house, but it's not. Yeah, this is obviously the style in your area. I love that you said something brilliant here, and this is what you should really take away. Where was it? I've been seeing recent flips in the area. That's what you want to do. Copy what the flippers are doing because they're trying to appeal to 95% of people with the design choices they're making. Every time you folks see flips, you walk through these things, you go, what can I steal? As in, like, what ideas can I steal? Don't steal their stuff. But what I like to do is I'll actually go through houses and I'll have like a library on my phone or under photos. Gosh, I haven't done this in a while, but I used to do this a lot. Under photos, I'd make not a library. What is it? An album. Too much Final Cut. I'd make an album, and what did I call it? All albums. I'm pretty sure I just called it renovations. Let's see, you got like before and after, whatever. So I made a renovations album here somewhere, and every time I would go through a property and I saw something I liked, I would take a picture of it. I actually called it the design one, but I don't even know if you can see this, but like that's never gonna happen, is it? No. Anyway, so I just take pictures of like vanities I like, flooring I like, tile schemes I'd like, countertop colors I'd like, and all that I would just have in this. So anytime I had a renovation and I was like, I'm curious, what should I do in terms of staging or something in a certain area? I already have this portfolio of 500 pictures or whatever that I could go through. But it evolves every time, so you constantly have to refresh that. Tastes and styles evolve all the time. All right, so what's another question we had here? So, there was a question about renting. So, PMU here had this question. Let me tag him really quick just to say we are about 19 min in. All right, so the question that came up was Minneapolis just passed an ordinance where the landlord can where no landlord can discriminate on Section 8. In other words, we must make our rentals available to Section 8 unless they don't qualify on other criteria. And that's okay. I'm okay with that. And you're right. Yeah, you could raise the rent, but I'm not opposed to Section 8 as long as they're paying me market rent. I don't like Section 8 sometimes when the market's appreciating because their minimum rents or their maximum rents, rather, are lower than what the market is. And I don't want lower than market. I want market. So this other thing you have, I wouldn't be so worried about this right here because you said right now the city is also working on a draft with a public hearing scheduled this summer where landlords must take all tenants with credit scores as low as 500, evictions if they're older than 3 years, and serious crimes if they're older than 5 years. Honestly, that's like horrible, right? I would never take somebody with a credit portfolio that low. I mean, really, our cutoff is like 700. And so, I'm really kind of curious about that. But the first thing I want to say is, first of all, don't stress yourself out. I wouldn't worry about this so much until it actually passes. Once things like this pass, you just have to deal with it. It's one of those things where you go, you know what? These are the cards I'm dealt. It is what it is. I'm going to go through it. And, usually if you price your property appropriately, there should be a way to pick a more desirable tenant based on some kind of legal criteria that you're allowed to use. Now, on just a quick, here we go. Let's see. I figured I could just get a quick assessment down here, but I might have to circle back to this. But really, initially, anytime I hear laws, or rent control coming in or whatever, I'm usually not so worried about it. Here it is. The landlord has a minimum credit score requirement of 500 or more. Insufficient credit history, unless the applicant in bad faith withholds credit information that might otherwise. Oh, these are all things that you can't. I'll come back to this. Screening. Okay, here. A landlord may either conduct an individualized assessment required by subdivision below or apply screening criteria that take into consideration any supplemental evidence in addition or additional information specific to criminal history for the following reasons: arrests, convictions, insufficient credit. Landlord has a minimum credit score requirement of 500 or more. Let me read this because I don't know. It seems like you got a lot of things that you could still screen for here, but let's get back to this after I read it. But I wanted to just tell everybody that I'm overall not so concerned about new laws and things. Oftentimes, a lot of these things just don't go into effect, and even when they do, there are other ways to get around things like that. But yeah, the way you summarized it here, I understand why you're stressed. All right, another question that we had, and then I'm going to go live and ask another question here. So I'm going to do a quick financing question, and if you have any questions for the live chat, post those. So this question in the financing chat came up, and this comes up with clients often too, is Mark had this question: what's the difference between the prime rate and the 0-point rate? So they're two totally different things. The prime rate is the Wall Street Journal's prime rate. So that's usually, what is it now? It's used to be like 3.5, but I'm pretty sure now that it's probably higher. So the prime rate is actually a set rate, oftentimes used for things like home equity lines of credit or some commercial loans. And so what banks will do is they'll say, hey, we'll offer you financing at prime plus 1% or prime plus 0.5%. That's what most home equity lines of credit are based on. So prime rate, yeah, no kidding. See, when we were at a 0% discount rate or federal funds rate, it was 3.5% the prime rate. It was at 3.5% for like 8 years. It was crazy. Now that the Feds bumped their rate, the prime rate's automatically gone up 2%. So the prime rate's 5.5%. So some of the HELOCs I have right now are prime rate plus half, which means the interest rate on the home equity line of credit is 6%. And you could get 30-year fixed rate financing at 4 or 4.5%. So that's obviously where that 30-year fixed rate financing is more desirable. Now, as far as a 0-point rate, it just means you're not paying money to get a lower interest rate. So when you have a 30-year fixed rate loan at 4.5% that you get quoted, you could pay a bunch of money and have that rate lowered, or you could get money back and have a higher rate. Higher rate is negative points, going down is paying points. So, all right, let's jump on over to questions in the live here. So what questions do we have? Good morning, folks. What about tile countertops? I mean, I would never install tile countertops, but let me show you one where I'm a little like, you guys, you'll appreciate this. Okay, I'm going to pull up a quick Matterport tour, and let me show you where I'm actually not going to replace tile countertops. So let's see here. I'm just scrolling through my Matterport. Here it is. Okay. So pop it open, screen share in about 5 seconds here. Yeah, here it is. So this was before we replaced all the flooring and there was an insurance claim and a water leak. The place has been evolved now, so it looks a lot better. But this was a place we bought. We scanned it when we bought it. So here we go. We scanned this place when we bought it. Now it has much nicer flooring, which I'm super excited about because the insurance paid for it. But anyway, look at all this tile countertop. Look how much there is. And there's this massive island here. Not only is there this massive island, but over here we have this full tile backsplash. And then all this tile countertop. Really, to replace all this tile with granite, it probably, I mean, if we went to a professional countertop company, you'd probably have to spend like $6 grand. And you should always do this evaluation. It's the same one that I did. I looked at this, I go, okay, if I spent $7 grand, how much more am I going to be able to rent the property for? And so my assumption was that, okay, if we paint the cabinets, we put knobs on, great. Now we have some fancy quartz countertop. How much more am I going to be able to rent the property for? Let's go extreme, because I don't even think this is true. Let's say I could rent it for $50 more. $50 more times 12 is $600 per year. But If it cost me $7,000 to do it, divided by $600, it would take me 11 and a half years to get my money back. And so in cases like that, I go, you know what? I'd rather have $50 less in rent and screw the countertops. Because keep in mind too, it's all the extra crap. I could do this job for maybe $5,500, but then I'll have to do drywall repair where the tiling was. Or I come over here, I go, great. I know the owner like moved back in while the house was selling. Oh, it's terrible. Anyway, sorry, venting. But anyway, you go to replace the countertops. Now what else do you have to do? Well, the sink's going to go, the faucet's going to go, then probably the valves are going to go, and the disposal's going to go, and I'm going to have to redo all this plumbing and all this crap over here. There's another grand. And so I get really frustrated with spending money when it doesn't turn into a rental return, like a positive return on your investment in a rental property. I'd rather not spend it. The fact that the insurance company gave me not only new flooring, but new wainscoting and new baseboards was just a freaking bonus. Because ordinarily, I probably wouldn't have replaced the flooring. I mean, it's not the most modern color right now, but it's fine. It was in good condition too. So it was just a fluke, I guess. Anyway, all right. So next question. That's my take on tile. What else do we got here? What's my opinion on a 1-year home warranty? We're deciding whether to milk some of the mechanicals as long as possible. Less than $750 for a year. Ugh, that's a lot of money. I don't know why it's $750. I've got the home warranty pamphlets. Usually I see these things. They're like, I mean, if you get the the problem is the base for the home warranty plans is usually like $350 to $400. But then, oh, you want your refrigerator covered? That's an extra $50 a month. Oh, you want your washer dryer covered? $50. Oh, you want your furnace covered or your AC covered? At $50. So before you know it, you're spending an insane amount of money. I mean, $750 a month. Okay, you said less than. Fine. $725 a month times 12. Sorry, $725 a year, not per month. Either way, $725 a year, over the lifespan of, let's say, the next 5 years, okay, that you're going to have this home warranty plan. It's $3,600. If you have one property, sometimes these home warranty plans make sense because look at it this way. You have one property, that's $725 a month. That's $3,600 for the period of 5 years. If you think everything's old and something's going to break, okay, all right, that could make sense. Where the home warranty plans don't make a lot of sense is as soon as you get to like a second or third property. Reason being is now you have to multiply that. Let's say you have 3 properties by 3. Now you're spending $11,000 on home warranty plans over the course of 5 years. $11,000 could have bought you a lot of appliances and a lot of mechanical systems. So, when you get into multiple properties, I'm not a fan. When you're in your first house, you've got older systems, you're trying to spread your costs. It's not a terrible idea. I just happen to see it takes oftentimes longer for some of these things to actually kick the bucket. Because keep in mind, just because your furnace goes out doesn't mean they're going to replace it right away. They might come, change out a part, and then go, you're good for another 5 years. Keep paying us the home warranty plan. So initially, good. Long run, bad. Tesla's going back up too. Yes. Almost got into a deal on a duplex where the tenant was paying way below market rent. However, the listing agent said I couldn't increase their rent to market value due to rent control here in LA. Yeah, it's true. The tenants were living there for 10 plus years. How do rent control laws impact those potential wedge deals on finding under market rents? Well, basically, the only way to get these tenants out oftentimes is either by doing a large renovation, which you generally, before you can do a renovation, you have to get the tenant out, or you pay them money to get out. So sometimes you just have to build into your wedge. If I want to get market rents, I have to pay the tenant $20,000 to get up and move and give away their rights to rent control. You build that into your wedge price. So that is a bummer with rent control, but it's the game you play. And sometimes you then at that point evaluate and go, you know what? Before I spend $20,000 on doing cash for keys with the tenant, I'll just let the tenant stay. So little things like that to keep in mind. All right, let's go over to deal analysis escrows here. So we looked at Anim's issue. Okay, so thickness for vinyl plank. So there are wear layers of 5 to 8 mil. MMs are usually mil, which is the thickness of paper, not millimeters. Just important for people to know if you're ever talking to anybody. It's higher priced, but the 4 mil is pretty reasonable. Also, what's the difference between foam backing versus core backing? Better or worse? I'm not super familiar with the difference between foam backing or core backing. You probably research that. But as far as wear layer, I usually don't look at that so much. I think that's a great sales pitch. Like, it's a great way for companies to say, "Oh, this flooring has a much thicker wear layer, this or that or whatever." Usually I look at what the warranty is. So if they have a limited lifetime warranty and a 10-year wear layer, read the terms of the warranty. Every company is different. And see what the terms of the warranty are. And if the terms of the warranty are such that the wear layer part doesn't matter, which is oftentimes the case, then even when they have these longer warranties and you read the terms of the warranty and it's like, oh wow, they cover a lot of things, read what they exclude. Then you look and you go, well, if they're warrantying it for limited lifetime 10-year light commercial, it's probably going to last quite a while, especially if you're installing it in a house. The odds are probably end up replacing it due to tenant damage or styles changing or something after 15, 20 years anyway. So not so enthused about trying to overspend now just to have something that's going to last forever. I get that fallacy a lot on YouTube where people leave comments that are like, oh well, I want to buy stuff that's going to last forever. Nobody wants your 50-year-old flooring. Unless it's like the original oak hardwood floor that you see in some of these older properties that has just sort of been nice for a lifetime, you usually end up replacing the flooring. And not only that, even those hardwood floors, they need to be refinished. So you usually end up spending the same money on even those original hardwood floors by refinishing them at a cost of $4 or $5 a square foot, which you could almost install vinyl plank for. So just things to keep in mind. All right, cool. So deal analysis. Deal analysis. Let's see where we left off, and then I'll do some more live questions here. So, okay, Brandon, did you get your deal? Because you're fighting over my property with offers, over 6 offers now with cash offers. Nice. Wow. Okay. So, did you got yours though, didn't you? Let me know. Okay, so Quang asks, I have a brother-in-law that's looking to buy in the suburbs of Detroit. Oh, that's funny because I was just there. I was interested in what I thought about what I think about the market over there. Looks like it was just a flip. All right, so let's look at this deal together. All right, let's see what we got, and then I'll answer some more live stream questions. Boom. So what do we got here? Completely updated colonial style house, 4-bed, 2.5 bath, Westland. It's so funny. I was just in Detroit. So let's try to understand a little bit of the area. I don't really know where this is. Cherry Hill Road. Let's see. Oh, okay. Yeah, so I was, I explored Midtown, Highland Park, the North End, Boston Edison, the Southwest, Ferndale, Royal Oak. These were all sort of the areas we were just exploring. Stay tuned for my video on that. It was really interesting. But what I learned about Detroit and the burbs, so to speak, is that every area is very different. So you really want to talk to real estate agents and professionals and see where are they investing? Where are they putting their money? Are they investing in this area? Or is there a different neighborhood? Because really, Detroit was one of those where it was block by block. So now it seemed like once you got out of Detroit, you did get more of these suburbs. And this is cool. Look at this though. I mean, this looks wonderful. A good tell I heard was if there's a for sale sign outside, it's usually a better neighborhood, which was crazy. That was actually something that they said because they didn't want to attract attention to vacant properties with for sale signs. But let's see. You got an open house. I had one this weekend. Oh, this is beautiful. Look at this. I mean, this is very nice kitchen cabinetry. I mean, right away, look at the extra detail they took here. Not only do they have this sort of double crown molding setup, but they added these nice panels on the end to match the newer cabinetry. I mean, this is very nice. They got my favorite boob lights. These cabinets are beautiful. Flooring's the vinyl plank, very similar to what I use. Basic appliances, very similar to what I use. Similar faucet to what I use. The door handles and stuff, love it. I love what they did, the fireplace, walls, everything basic. See, they do the carpet upstairs, vinyl plank downstairs, carpet upstairs. It's brilliant. It's a great way to go, great way to save money. New baseboards. See, they left the fiberglass. This is brilliant. This is almost exactly how I would do it. I mean, I would have done different light fixtures than that, but whatever. And I think this clashes. To me, this is just like, I can't stand looking at that part. But other than that part, look, you got the new mechanical systems. That's great. These are expensive, or at least they look pretty new. I mean, that's awesome. So, $310,000, is that what it's for sale for? I mean, that's sort of what implies, Zillow implies, but it says foreclosure. And it says foreclosure because it used to be a foreclosure. That's why it's a flip now. So let's see. Let's do some quick comps on it. What do we got? It's a $310,000, 2266 square footer. What's stuff going for around here? 2266. This one's a little larger, sold for 280. Your list had 310, but this one is that's an older comp. Let's see. What's this? 250. Yeah, you're definitely paying a premium here because it's so redone. They probably have $35,000 in over these other deals here, maybe $30,000. But it looks like you're going to be paying top of the market to move into this one, which it wasn't necessarily a terrible thing because you get in. It seems like a nice neighborhood. Verify that. Look, 270 here. Here's a 270 sale. See, you would have to do the flooring because you got kind of this mismatch going on. You need to do the paint. The kitchen's not brand new like this one. Yeah, I mean, you're at least 25 grand separated in actual cost of improvements. But remember, that doesn't dollar for dollar transfer to value. So, if you could get something like this for under 3, it's probably not a bad deal. You're probably paying close to market value for it, but you know what? It's done. It's move-in ready. Might not be a terrible way to start, so I'm not terribly opposed to that. All right, let's do some live questions here. The tenants were living there for 10 plus years. Oh yeah, we talked about that. Okay, let's see. GM Kevin, do banks really enforce owner-occupied loans? I feel like, did you ask that question in the Discord? Because I was going to get to that, but I didn't. So thank you for asking it here. For the owners have to stay in the house for a year before renting out. So the answer is no. They don't really enforce this. But if there's ever a problem, it could come up. Like if if the bank wanted to sue you or whatever, they'd have a contractual violation, right? So just be careful. Usually, you really have to document that your intent changed if you move early. So your intent changing could be as simple as, hey, we wanted to move into it for this reason, but then, something happened and then we didn't. But that something happened better be some kind of reasonable explanation. So just be careful. Sometimes what I usually like to do is if we're going to buy a house, we move into it and we think we're going to move again. And let's say we were going to move after 6 months. There would have to be just a hot deal that came along. And to me, that is enough to change my intent. Because it's like, wow, that's a hot deal. I could explain to any judge that my net worth would go up by $60,000 just by buying that property. Makes sense to me. My intent changed. I want that deal. You know what I'm saying? So when evaluating, but always this kind of stuff, you confirm it with an attorney. A lot of attorneys will say, hey, everybody has the right to change their mind. So sometimes that'll give you some more comfort, but just keep in mind what you're signing in loan docs. Usually it's an intent to occupy. Is this right? Yeah. Okay. All right. When evaluating cash out refinance on a rental, what is the minimum cash flow number you look for after the refinance to make it worthwhile? It depends on your own situation. Like I personally I don't live on purely cash flow. Cash flow is nice. It's great. It's supplemental, but I'd have to do the whole like FIRE minimalist approach, which is oftentimes what especially younger investors have to deal with, because if you don't come from a family of wealth, you build your cash flow slowly. YouTube gives us this impression that you should be able to have all this incredible passive income right away, but passive income really takes decades to build. So to me, I look at when I evaluate, do I want to cash out refinance? I always ask myself, well, what are my opportunities? What am I going to do with that money? Don't just refinance to have it sitting there. If you think you can come across a good deal or you're planning on getting a good deal, great. If you can lower your rate, great. But if you're just going to refinance, you're going to have the money sitting there and you're going to be anxious to place it and put it into something. Be careful, mostly because now you are eliminating cash flow. You're resetting your amortization table. If you're not getting a big cash reduction, what's the point of doing the cash out refinance? So to me, it's not a question of evaluating the numbers on your current deal. It's evaluating what are you going to do with the money that you're getting from that cash out refinance. That's the most important part. So let's see if we can do another deal analysis here. Okay, Brandon's offer was not accepted. Hi, Kevin and other members. My boss just put in his 2 weeks notice. And he heard that I'm looking to buy a house, so he offered me his before he puts his on the market. Okay, be careful. Sometimes these can be overpay situations. I asked if he would be interested in seller financing subject to the current mortgage, and my answer, he surprised you and said yes. Be careful with this. I'll screen share this. Just be careful because that's a wraparound, and it's usually a form of defrauding the lender. So just be careful. Wraps are rarely done, and they're not usually not recommended anymore. So basically, for anybody wondering what this means is, let's say, Remorph is going to buy this place for, hold on, let me tag him really quick. Remorph answering around, what is this, 42 minutes? 42 minutes. So the issue is, if you have a loan on a place for, let's say, $250,000 and the payments are, I don't know, $2,000 a month, and then you're going to buy the place for $350,000, and then he's going to carry the second for $100,000 to finance everything for you. Now you have a first for $250,000, which is actually his mortgage. Then you have a second for $100,000 to finance the whole deal for you. And now you're responsible for making both payments to him, and then he's going to pay off his first, sort of continued. That's called a wraparound mortgage with a carryback second. It's really touchy. And I don't understand why you wouldn't want to try to just qualify, especially if you got a boss, it means you're employed, why you wouldn't want to qualify for a 30-year fixed rate mortgage on your own. But let's see what you wrote, because I haven't finished reading what you said. So, okay. Well, now I'm trying to figure out the best way to negotiate terms. Yeah, so be careful. Also, when you get caught up on these creative loan options, you stop focusing on things that matter, like comps, wedge value. Is it a good deal? He bought the house maybe 2 years ago for $215,000 with a 4.2% interest. That's probably similar to what you get today. So it's not like you're saving massively for interest. With his monthly payments around $1,300 a month with principal interest and mortgage insurance as well. See, and he has mortgage insurance, so you're paying his mortgage insurance too. Could rent it out for $1,500 to $1,600. The property is worth $220 to $240 as the area is very popular. Okay, that's good. Quickly going over the asking price, he's made some improvements. What's the best way to negotiate this? I mean, obviously, if you could get the price as low as possible, that's great. But what does he want to sell it to you, right? That's the big question. If he bought it for $215,000, he's going to want to sell it for more than that. So he'll probably sell it to you for $230,000 or something like that, in which case you're paying that market value. And the big question I have is why are you not getting your own loan? To me, I think that complicates the deals. I'm all for buying properties off market, but be careful on that part. Hey, it could work out if there's a reason. And if it does work out, that's great. Yeah, I'm not so jazzed initially, at least. All right, let's see what other questions we got here. We got thoughts on this deal here. So let's do this. Scuff Dev responding around 45 minutes. Okay. Older home, but renovated. 1990, with sewer line, water line, electrical panel, wiring, all was permitted and approved by the city. Why would they replace? Oh, okay. Older home, but renovated in 90. Okay, good. Yeah, okay, that sounds good. New water line, sewer line, electrical line. That's good. Those are all expensive things. Parts of the home are dated. Like the bathrooms. Good. That's also good. I love it when all those expensive things are done and the cosmetics aren't done. It feels like a 3, 2.5, because the weird room doesn't really function as a bedroom. It's all right. Sometimes that could be an office. Location-wise, doesn't seem to be on a heavily transverse street right across from a new school. Was thinking about house hacking it. It could work. Let's see what we got. So listed by Redfin. Let's do our location first. So it's in Seattle. Yeah, I agree with you as far as at least the street. Seems like kind of a normal, just outside a city street here. So that's good. Obviously, I always just make this disclaimer. Talk to your agents about the areas and neighborhoods. I don't know them as well, but let's just do the little Google buddy here. Sometimes we get a good tell. I mean, this is pretty cool. You already, oh, well, that's a nice new school too. You're gonna have probably school traffic and school parking issues, and it looks like this could even be like the carpool loop. So things to keep in mind, but as long as you avoid those times, I'm not so opposed to being by a school. So I'm surprised they don't have more of like front yards here. They're kind of like, is that driveway? Is it parking lot? Is it, what is it? But whatever. So I think it's this one that you're looking at. All right. So, and I'm okay with that fourth bedroom. 3 and 2 is fine. It's a 2.5, 2. I mean, this is nice on the inside. I probably would not do much to this thing. Yeah, I see that. That was probably the fourth room there. Yeah, it's definitely a 90s remodel, right? The kitchen's 90s, the white walls, the ivory outlets, the bathrooms, which is good because it's going to turn off those HGTV buyers, so to speak, right? So let's see what we got here. Oh, they got a Matterport scan too. That's cool. Good for them. So we'll pop that open really quick too. I should have done that at first. I love these. No, okay, so that wasn't the fourth bedroom. Let me try to figure out where that fourth room is you were talking about. So we got room. Oh, I can't even find 3 bedrooms right now. Hold on a second. Oh, wait. Oh, there's a downstairs. Okay, good, good, good. So there's a downstairs. Yeah, this is 1 bedroom. Yeah, this works. If that's the fourth bedroom, that's totally fine as a bedroom. Let's see what we got. That's 1. See, this is so much better than photos. That's definitely a bedroom. That's 2. This is 3. Okay, so it's probably upstairs. Yeah, this is easy. And what do we have upstairs? Where's that room? And this is another bedroom. You have 4 bedrooms, man. This is your master. This is awesome. What's this? Is this another one? Why am I so confused? This is almost like a little suite off the master. Anyway, it looks good. You got lots of rooms. All right. So anyway, like it, let's look at comps really quick. So it's 2,100 square feet. I'm not so interested in 100% figuring out the floor plan right now because it doesn't really matter. Okay, so your deal is it right here? I'm pretty sure it is because that's by the school. Yeah, 649, 2,100 square feet. And what is this? Here's a 695er. Well, that's cool. It's listed. Oh, this one's more modern, a little bit. And the flooring's still dated. The kitchen's basic, fiberglass. Okay. So, but it's active. So be careful to look at active comps, right? You got this low comp here from 16. Gosh, look at the prices, how they skyrocketed in your area. You're at 649. This place sold for like $150,000 less. But it was 3 years ago, It's where you just have to go and go, it is what it is. That place was a little dated too. So what else do we have? I always try to stay close. So look at this, a 3-bedroom, 1 bath sold for $700,000 in 18. That's incredible. Here's a 540 sale. Tiny though, almost half the square footage is yours. So that's good. That's good. This one's larger. Yeah, trying to find some recent comps. Where can you get some recent stuff? You think, oh, here, newest. There we go. Look at that. House for sale. We'll skip those. 770 comp. That's good for you. That's really good. 770 all the way up there, away from the school. 645 sale comp, smaller down here. That's great. What is this? 690. That's great. That one's for sale. I mean, everything's selling for more, except for this one and this one. Where are these? These 2 down here are selling for this 625, or what's this one? Cape Cod, amazing curb appeal. It's cozy, updated, electrical plumbing. So here's a similar one, right? It sold for 625, but look, it's 1,120 square feet. So yours might not be that. I mean, you are going to get punished somewhat by the school being there, but they just had a fat price reduction. I wouldn't be surprised to see this one sell. And if you could get this one for lower, it might be a deal. Might be one to pick up. I'm not opposed to this one. So, all right, let's see what else we got. Let's find out. What do I think about this place? Okay, let's do another deal analysis. We'll do one more deal analysis. I'll answer some questions in the live. We'll call it a day. So, checking in live, about 50 men in. The time always flies on these live streams. Okay, so wow. Okay, so hold on. You're sending me $1 million place. And you didn't say anything about it. So what are you going to use this place for? So these places are notorious, when they get expensive, they're notoriously harder to value. And so we're probably not necessarily going to do that. I want to figure out, before I get into doing comps on stuff like this, I'd want to know, why $1 million place, mostly in Walnut Creek. Okay, well, here's why. Because you're in NorCal. Okay, so now that explains it. All right, so that answers it a little bit more. I like the address, 1234 Laurel Lane. I like the location. I can't even get my Google Maps on there. It's so private. That's cool. So, all right, so now we know it's NorCal, so that's more normal for $1 million home. Ordinarily, if we get too expensive, I don't recommend it just because it's harder to do rentals on them. But this is much more common. So outside Concord, Berkeley. Okay. All right. Let's look at it like a normal deal then. So what do we got? So you're on this cul-de-sac here. Usually I recommend people put an arrow as to where the actual property is. But whatever. They really wanted to do drone shots, show you the area. Let's look at the inside. Wow. I mean, this is cool because this is like, my grandparents' place, which I love because it looks so dated and it has so much potential. But everything about this place is custom. These tables are large. They're storing stuff everywhere. They have an insane amount of stuff that makes this place seem small. This could make it a wedge deal just because of all the crap they have. There's so much stuff. And if whoever owns this place is is watching this live stream, I'm sorry for calling your stuff crap, but if you're selling it, you might consider getting rid of some stuff. So yeah, it's shocking how much is there. But let's see what other things are selling for. So yours is, and a lot of these are view based too, but I didn't really see any views. I know you're perched, but I mean, that's cool. You got some kind of tree lined views here. This is probably a drone shot though. All right. So what is this? Wow, look at this. A 5,000 square foot around the corner for $2 million, but it's also twice the square footage. That's incredible. I mean, this is like a mansion over here. We can't really use that as a comp. What is this on your street? Okay, this is a better comp. This is actually good. Look at this. Yours is 2,300 square feet, 4-bedroom, 2-bath, dated. This one sold for $1.7 million, and it's like the same square footage. Now, see, look how little they have in this. They got like no storage of stuff. It's probably staged. And the pool's nice, but it's not going to drive a massive amount of value. And I don't see any crazy view. That could be a deal. That million, I mean, just based on that comp alone, depending on the view, analyze what the view difference is. But looking at that alone, I like that $1 million place right now. It is like the lowest sale out of anything over here. Look, you got one of these lower properties over here. It's a little smaller. This one, much more move-in ready, although still somewhat dated, sold for, yeah, it still has some dated elements. This one way down here, 300 square feet smaller, sold for 1.1 in 2017. That's crazy. The place is probably worth 1.2 now. And yours up here is 1 mil. I like this. Oh, yours 2,500 square feet, not even 23. This I like a lot. Let's see when this was built. 1947. Yeah, this is exciting. I mean, 1947. They've done some remodeling. I would want to know about the systems. These strike me as people that might be interested in having like a new roof, new plumbing system, and all that stuff. And they're like really proud of the backyard and stuff like that, but it's just super dated and cluttered. I like it. Excited by it. Get more information on it. All right, let's do some questions in the live here. Yeah, let's see what we got. So we talked about the refinance. Great. Okay, cool. Kevin, thanks for everything. Oh, thank you so much. All right. Brandon, this is tech. How often do you see offers fall through when they are accepted? Maybe only about 8% of the time. Apparently, I'm next in line should the other seller's deal fall through. No. Usually, unless you gotta have this place, usually I withdraw my offer because the reason is, watch this. If the deal falls out of escrow and then they call you, they go, hey, our deal fell out. Are you still interested? Rather than them automatically going, hey, we just signed your offer. We're going with you. You now have the opportunity to renegotiate. And usually when properties come back on the market, they don't get the same enthusiasm they had before. So I love it when places come back on the market because I look at it and I go, okay, yeah, this could be a really good opportunity now. So there you go, folks. It was fun. Wow. I can't believe I told myself I'd do a 30-minute live today, and it was another 55-minute live. I love you all, folks. Thank you so much for your brilliant questions. Keep asking them. Appreciate you. And make sure to join me on the Meet Kevin tour. If you haven't yet, go to meetkevin.teachable.com and see where I will be. Love to meet you guys in person. If there's much room to negotiate, if there were 6 offers on it now as a new listing, but when it comes back on the market, usually people have moved on to find something else. All right, folks, we'll see you.